Hey, bro, draft is up.
Oh, damn. Okay, never
Okay,
mind.
We'll call you later.
We'll call you
Deadeye.
later, Deadeye.
Anyways, ladies and gents, thank you for your
Oh, he's
thank
actually
you
on.
for the wait. Oh my god, he really picked up.
Yo, Deadeye.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question.
By the way, you're on stream.
But yes, what's up, bro? What's hanging? Anyways, you're on stream.
believe we're
Is it
doing this,
normal in
ladies and gents.
Filipino culture as well that your mom tells you that you are picked up from a rubbish bin?
Of course, man. Especially the second child usually gets that.
Specifically the second child, the middle child.
I'm the eldest.
You're the oldest?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, thank you so much for your guest appearance, Deadeye. Catch you next time.
I can't believe we're doing this, chat. I can't believe we're doing this, chat. I really can't believe we just called Deadeye right here.
Hey,
stream.
we gotta know from official sources. We gotta
Okay.
find out from official sources.
Okay, let's talk about draft, ladies
Let's
and
talk
gents.
about draft now.
Absolute zero. Going to the blue side, and that's what I mentioned. Team Flash usually really shines very well on the red side. They selected that for themselves. Zays will be banning out the 1-1, not over to Celis. I still can't get over it. In fact, we're still we called Deadeye. And then Absolute Zero bans away the Harif and the Phobius.
Okay, so at this point in time, everything is still fine and dandy. The chip is currently still available together with the Loi as well as the Juicin. Something that I thought that, okay, that is mostly a Coach Amox thing, right? Juicin and Loi is always out of the picture. While in the meantime, Coach Z's have constantly been looking at the Baxia as well as the 1-1 ban, with the final ban is something a little bit more adventurous per se. So at this point, what are we looking out for? Do we want to take away the Kalia from AZ? Because Vendetta is a sick beast with the Kalia. And when you are second pick, second ban, I think that you might want to respect that.
I think, to be honest, Abstract, and then I'll ask you a question. Do you want to deal with a variable, or you want to deal with something that you know and draft around it? So right here, if Zaze bans away the Kalia, yeah, he knows that he wants to deal with the Kalia, so AZ can go for that. Unfortunately, Baxia is banned away because Baxia is a good counter over the Kalia because of his heals. The Lucas will be banned instead from the side of Flash. Absolute Zero needs to pick up a Kalia right here. If not, Flash will take it away from them.
Yeah. I think it's without a question, AZ will prioritize
There
with
you
the
go.
Kalia, right? Almost definitely. And now Team Flash, they have the next opportunity. They do have the Fasa that's currently available. They can also choose to go for heroes such as the Granger or Juicin or Loi. But generally speaking, it seems as though most teams would really prefer and likes the Farsa. So Farsa is probably going to be my lock-in for me, understanding how Kha'Zix normally would like to play. So with that, that's done. And then possibly a gold laner.
It's kind of surprising, right? Loi actually has a pick ban of 61%.
61,
Yeah,
okay.
37 pick bans. Mostly bans, unfortunately. And it's surprising the fact that, you know, Team Flash did not go for the Loi, because I feel like the Loi is a really good hero right here, especially when you're dealing with a Kalia that's really divey, and Loi is anti-dive. And adds on to CC, gets that shield going, and it really messes out the combo of Kalia. So I'm very surprised that Team Flash did not pick up here. They're going to go for the Badang and the Granger instead.
I think that, oh crap, Matilda is actually open as well.
Yep.
So that might be the combo that we're
Yep.
looking for. Yep, that's the
Definitely.
combo coming in from AZ. So, I think Team Flash made a good choice about not going for the mage at this point, because if they were to go for a Fasa just right out the bat because they wanted to play towards the win condition, then they would not be able to prepare themselves for this Matilda Alpha pick. So leaving that up to the very potential divey, actually not potential, this is DiveCom. So as you said, Loi may actually be a very good pick here, just by leaving it to the third pick, whereby the third pick will always be the counter pick. While in the meantime, R1 or R2, generally just blind picks.
Thinking, oh man, Baxia get taken away. This is the perfect time
Do
we
the
pull out the
Juicin, okay.
Baxia. Juicin will be selected instead. Technically speaking, yes, Juicin is also good against dive heroes, right? Instead of you going to them, they come to you,
Then
you
you-
shower them with love.
And let's not forget, you also do have the Crimson Beacon. Yeah, then just teleport backwards.
Yep, so
Yeah.
it's pretty safe picks coming out from inside Team Flash as well. But of course, Absolute Zero, this is a very crazy, sustainable kind of composition, right? You got Kalia, you got the Mathilda, and also to a certain extent Alpha. Your anti-regen right here from the side of Flash is there. And the longer these fights go from the side of Absolute Zero, it's is gonna get even crazier. They're gonna regen out of control. So Team Flash needs to deal with it. The only thing that you can deal with is the Baxia. Unfortunately, they ban out unless you start building your Sea Halberds, your Dom Eyes, to the certain extent your Glowing Ones. Everybody needs anti-heal right here.
So at this point, AZ, they're looking out for two things. They're looking for a mage and they're looking for the gold laner. Both of which gonna have to be relatively self-sufficient if they really want to. We know that Mathilda, Alpha, and Kalia, the three of them are going to be the roaming trio.
Yeah.
The gold laner and the gold laner. Oh wait, sorry, Kalia is actually EXP. So if they are able to get a winning lane for themselves, that would be good. So AZ would most likely will want to prioritize banning heroes in the EXP lanes, such as let's see, Glue is one, yes. Phoveus is banned already. Phoveus is banned, so that's okay. If they really want to double down, they can go for a CC ban as well.
Gatot as well, I think.
I think that Gatot is a very good pick coming in from Team Flash. However, I don't think that they are going to specifically go for a ban. They will much rather, you know what? Let's give it to you. It's okay. Because AZ, they don't play around zoning. They have a lot of mobility. So even if the AOG is coming, they should be able to deal with that, especially since they have an alpha.
Yeah, I feel like really, I think Absolute Zero is going on the tangent, like what you mentioned, start to lock down more EXP laners, right? Apart from the Glue, I think Hylos should be going there as well. It's something that can also plays. And unless, you know, Team Flash can pull out Terizla, but I feel like right now you really...
Terizla's out now. Terizla is out. No, as in out, as in, I don't think that he fits in this meta.
Yeah, but that's something that can place, right? So I think that's potentially something that can wombo combo and try to lock people down. It also works well with the Badang as well. Badang wall, then you land down the penalty zone, swipe, and then you win, right?
In terms of team fight, I think that is a very good idea.
Yeah.
However, I think that what Team Flash wants for themselves is that they want a winning lane in the EXP.
Correct.
Technically speaking, if they want to put a Badang over to fight a Kalia, I don't think that is out of the question. I think that the both of them would just keep brawling out against one another, and essentially a wet noodle fight. I can't exactly remember exactly who has got the lane priority on top of all of that, but I would like to believe that it is Kalia, because we don't see Kalia XP all that much in MPLSG. So most of the times that we are able to extract any form of data is through Vendetta.
Okay, so we need to be able to deal with the Kalia region. We also need to be able to try to burst Kalia down. I don't know why. One of the hero that came into my mind was a Benedetta. You need something like an assassin. Yeah, but is that Ken's hero though?
Yes. Wait. No, that's not Ken's hero. But I think that they need more tougher front lines.
Okay, there you go. Tougher front line. Hilda does fit that bill. Also has a region to try to match. Does have a lot of nutty early game damage as well.
Does well with Kalia as well.
And also, so that fits the bill. So that
fits the bill.
That I agree with the Hilda. It's a really good choice coming up from Coach Z's. And now Absolute Zero gonna secure their mid laner and also the gold laner. If you notice, the Farsa, the Moscow is banned away. There's still the Harith, unfortunately that's banned away. The Kimi going to the mid lane as well. Another prior pick as well. Absolute Zero has been getting away with all these mega prior picks, like S++ tier picks, from Game 1 and Game 2, and Bendet and Carry to secure the draft as well, to deal with the Badang, to deal with the Hilda, which is also a very good choice, but you're going to get lane bullied in the early game.
This is ultimate shred coming in from AZ. They don't care about anything. They will take whatever kills that they can off of the front lines. So Vendetta only have one job. The moment he sees someone, it doesn't matter if it's the front lines, it doesn't matter if it's the back lines, it doesn't matter who it is. Grab and go. We've got the Alpha that can deal crazy amount of damage when it comes down to true damage. And let's not forget about how Carry can come into that fray as well.
Definitely, I'm agreeing what Zay's going for. The Joy fits the bill right here. You need to be able to catch up with the speed, the disengage speed coming out from the side of Absolute Zero. You've got the Kimi that could just jump over walls. You also got Carry when she activates ultimate, just runs like hell. Mathilda as well can also pull anybody back into safety. And Absolute Zero, if this Mathilda is Rapid plays this right, he's able to juggle the aggression coming out from Team Flash. Team Flash needs to really communicate and commit to burst one person at a time before going to the next.
So even though this is a very scary front-to-back composition from AZ, one of their weakness is definitely going to be, namely, the front line. They don't have someone
Yep.
that can really hold on to the Lord all that well. But in the meantime, Team Flash will most likely have a lot of said Lord slash objective priority. Flash will always be the one that's just going to be lingering around the riverline, while in the meantime, AZ is just waiting for the perfect chance to leap in
Yep.
and go for the throat.
Yeah, but once again, Abstract, we've seen Absolute Zero drop a very S+ tier picks, right? But would they be able to use that composition once again? In game number 1, they were just basically hunkering down the mid lane in a clash comp. This is a literal clash and dive comp. In order for this draft to really work, they really need to commit. They cannot be afraid to basically dive into the pool. You cannot just check whether the swimming pool is actually cold or not. You just have to dive in.
As you can see, now we have a pretty much of a smash fest coming in from Vendetta. It's just constantly just whacking right up onto Ken.
Yep.
And this forced JPL, or rather, it made JPL want to make his way down to the bottom lane to provide a little bit of that reinforcement.
Yeah, Ken also brought in friends, right, from in the form of JPL. We also have to talk about the gold lane situation as well. Vanek should be able to get main priority, and you start to see Hades also lingering up top. Bottom lane is definitely, like what you mentioned, it's going to be a pool noodle fight. Ken's is going to run to the bushes and then heal up. Venetta's going to heal up, so I don't think we're going to be able to see a lot of action down bot.
Not at all. The main thing that we want from Vendetta is he just keep fighting away. While in the meantime, Ken just wants to weave in and out of these rushes and use whatever S2 that he can in order to deal decent amount of damage over to Vendetta. So, like I said, wet noodle fight in the EXP lane doesn't seem like it will go to anyone.
Flicker will be committed by the side of Silas as well. We also want to take a look at how, you know, Absolute Zero is basically rotating around. These three roaming trio is actually really strong. It's actually even more stronger as compared to a Joy, a Jusin, and also a, the other one.
Joy,
Jusin, and a Badang. Absolute Zero needs to be really active on the map, and Team Flash needs to be ready to stand by for anything that Absolute Zero is throwing at them.
So right now, 1 minute and 40 seconds into the game, we got Flash that is going to go straight onto Absolute Zero.
Tsunami Slam committed by the side of onto Vendetta, onto JPL. First blood secured by Nan, opening up for the turtle.
Immediately, one person's down, and that is the front lines of Team Flash. Exactly what I wanted them to do. Just pick up that one person. Front line, back line, as long as they have someone down, they got advantage.
Oh, Nan secures the turtle as well. Unfortunately, Hades, even with the ultimate, will not be able to secure the turtle for themselves. And now Absolute Zero, they're just going to go on in ham into the jungle for the side of their Flash SG. Curtis in a spot of trouble, just in the nick of the time. Vendetta flickers forward, trying to do some damage. Hades coming into the rescue, and Vendetta will not be able to connect. Rapidude dives for Curtizi, and now may have to pay the price right here, but right into Vendetta's Undo JPL. The rest of the members from the side of Flash will be able to deal with the remnants of Absolute Zero.
In most cases, I would say that it is a fair trade. No, not fair. In most cases, I would say it is a good trade. But this is a very extended fight, so it becomes a 2-for-2. We're looking at a roamer and a mage for a EXP laner and a roamer. So technically speaking, Absolute Zero, they have got way more advantage into this fight.
Yeah, definitely, right? Nan is level 6. Hades, on the other hand, is still a little bit focusing on trying to create opportunities around the side lanes, right? Flash SG wants to win the side lanes, but Absolute Zero, that Hail Mary play right there is actually benefiting them.
So, at this point in time, we do have... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Ken!
I think that's a dead Ken
Ken's
right
gone.
here. No way for you to survive. Ken cannot survive that one.
Ken cannot. Most time, Ken can. But Ken can't. Here. This time.
I'm sorry, you're making me very confused right now.
That's why you're no longer an engineer.
Yeah,
Confusion should be your forte.
I'm confused. You broke my mind, Abstract, from that particular one. But if you notice, Hades is actually facing a lot of trouble on that joy pick. Yes, it makes sense on paper, but execution-wise, Absolute Zero is basically constantly hammering onto Flash. They're not allowing Flash to take a break.
Yeah, so all across the map, we are literally looking at quite a lot of things going on. Main thing is that Absolute Zero's EXP lane is very self-sufficient, and if Vendetta wants to join into the fray together with the rest of Flash, with the rest of his team, then he can, because he's one of the main playmakers coming in from Absolute Zero in order to make full use of the Tsunami Slam. Without the Tsunami Slam, then they gotta have to work with a very committal ultimate, the Spear of the Alpha. in order to engage in the northern area of the map in order to supplement and ensure that the Granger is gonna be safe and sound. But to make things kind of worse is the fact that the turtle is actually popping up the northern side.
Yeah.
That means that it's going to be Absolute Zero's game.
Tsunami Slam right onto JPL. JPL has to burn the flicker. Hades tried to dash for it, running for the hills, separating Silas all the way out back, zoning him out, but the turtle right there, I forgot that JPL secures it. He pulls up his sleeves and he says, let me do the jungle as well. And he has to run right here. Bucci outputting a lot of damage. Hades, it's a jungle trade right there for both these two teams.
So it's kind of surprising how it became a jungle trade and Flash taking that turtle. In most situations, we should not see that happening. So with that replay, it will be able to help us understand a little bit more as to what happened. I saw exactly how Hades went down, but how did Nan went down, that is the main question. Do they have the guiding wind to work for themselves? No, because right now Nan focuses onto the turtle. He doubled down onto his positioning for the turtle. Unfortunately, it did not work out for them.
Yep.
So this trade and this sacrifice play, per se, worked against Absolute Zero.
You see how, JPL using that fist crack, that ultimate barely clips that turtle, right? And at the same time, you stun none. It makes it feel like JPL, I feel like Badang is a good jungle right now.
This is actually kind of a 1 in 100 kind of situation.
Because done so many 1 in 100 situations.
Because here's the thing, right? Not only you did manage to slam Nan on the wall, so you negate that possibility of him auto-attacking. However, you also need to remember that right after using a Retribution, there's a single stack of burn that will happen immediately, and then following after a Nyx burn in the next second or so, right? So JPL needs to be exact when it comes down to timing. This, just so you know, JPL didn't take the loss on purpose. This is all coincidental.
No, I refuse to be that. He's the legend. It's not lucky, right? He's the legend. Come on. He's the JPL.
He's the Legend 27. No, Legend 47. Wait, I cannot remember what
He's
that
here
happened.
since 2017. He's played in the first MSC of MLBB, and now, of
You
course...
know what? Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did. He was right there. And
Yeah.
Hades, if you
He's an
notice...
old man now.
He's a strong old man.
He's a strong old man. Usually by this point in time, anyone that played that, anyone that pioneer still playing, they're usually a little bit slower now.
Nope, I don't think he's slow. He still have his bite, and right now, even though, Flash burns a little bit too much, tried to zone the rest of the members, so it's Absolute Zero all the way out back. Nan will be focusing on the turtle, will be able to secure it. JPL goes in the fist crack, finding onto Bucci. Nan goes and lands the spear onto Ken. Ken will be no more, melted down by Bucci at the same time. Hades unable to find an entry point. Vanix tried to join the fight, unfortunately, and Vendetta will force Team Flash into a fight. They don't want the handshake. Bucci stepping forward just a little bit, will not be able to catch anybody, and the turtle, unfortunately, given over side of Absolute Zero.
It's a 4v3 after all at this point in time. Team Flash do not want to touch them. The bottom lane is chopped up a little bit, but we do have got Nan that is just right around the vicinity. In the meantime, top lane.
Getting targeted round. Silas finally securing that kill up top. Vendetta will be able to attack onto Vanix. Vanix purified right on the back. Try to zone out. Curtizi joining the fray as well. Buji zoning out. Curtizi can try to make an entrance, but Silas will be able to secure the turret up top.
Okay. Very close fight, very close take onto Buji. Would have meant a lot, but that is a kill onto JPL. That is also a Purify that is used onto the side of Vanix. But I think that timing of the Purify will still come back by the time the next Lord appears. So I don't think that it will be too bad of a deal for Vanix. So if anything, just needs to play safe for the next minute.
If you're Team Flash, I think you cannot afford to be safe. Vanix has stacked up the... hold on a second. That's going to be the ultimate from the side. Kimi lands onto Curtizi. Curtizi goes into the ultimate. Try to stay alive just a little bit more. And like I said, that's massive commitments from the side of Absolute Zero onto Flash.
8 minutes and 40 seconds onto the clock with 2,000 gold lead in favor for Absolute Zero. We know that the early games is, and as well as the win condition is very clear for Absolute Zero. Team Flash, they definitely know of that fact as well. As such, both Ken and JPL, they are not willing to just get anywhere close within the vicinity of Vendetta. A single Tsunami Slam is going to be the end of them.
Yep. Speaking of that, that's Tsunami Slam onto Ken. Ken immediately melted down. JPL trying to make a fist crack of the game right here, but Curtizi getting gunned down by Buji. Vanny tried to join the fight, but he's only just one member. Buji flickers away to safety for now.
Yep. So, Absolute Zero playing to their guns. And Team Flash, unfortunately, they require that zoning potential. They need that space. They need Ken as well as JPL to kind of push people away and allow KTZ to be very aggressive at how a Houston generally plays. So this combo coming in from Absolute Zero and the Witcon is that harder counter.
Okay, unfortunately, JPL will not be able to make the play here. Not securing Hades and also the Lord itself. JPL melted down by Bougie. Bougie on this Kimmy is just melting Flash like ice cream in a hot summer.
I'm looking for win conditions for the side of Team Flash and what they could do from this point onwards. Unfortunately, right now, all I can expect is that because we are out of the laning phase, there's really not much that this healer can do.
Oh, Vanix. Purified burns once again. Ken has to run for the hills right here. Vanix, he's only a Granger. He really cannot do a lot of things. Salas focusing down the turret. Bougie will be able to crack open, and finally Nan gets punished by the side of Flash SG. Vanix picking up a double kill, but mid lane for the side of Flash already cleaned up.
If Absolute Zero were to play their hearts out and make zero mistakes, Team Flash will not be able to find any way of winning this game.
Yep.
I don't really see how Nan went in to the opponent's turret. I think that he assumed that there is a guiding wind to yoink himself out of there. Oh, okay, Kurtizi. It was all in Kurtizi.
But that double kill is definitely going to help a little bit for the side of Flash, right? But hold on a second, the fight's going to continue. Rapidude not allowing Kurtizi to basically have a good time. And the rest of the side of Absolute Zero is just fist crack after fist crack against Flash SG.
That's really... I'm really trying to look out for a way for Team Flash to play because this is a very pokey composition. They want to poke with Vanix, they want to poke with Kurtizi, and of course, Ken himself is also quite a big bit of a poke and prod hero because he's not afraid of going into a fight, unleash her S2 or rather ulti to S2, and then just casually walk away.
Yep, I'm looking also at the items abstract. See Halberd from the side of Vanix, Dumb Eyes for the side of Ken. There's no Dom Eyes for the side of the JPL, unfortunately. Like what I mentioned, this is very region-y kind of roster. You need a lot of anti-heal for this one.
Do they have enough wave clear? Generally, I would say no. Team Flash's wave clear is also not the most amazing. They can wave clear, sure, but by the time where Absolute Zero were to get themselves the Lord, that is where Team Flash starts to suffer against these mega creeps because most of them are very single target based. We look at the Hilda, we look at Vanix, we look at okay, that's pretty much the two that are single target. But they are also one of the few people that deals with both damage.
And another Tsunami Slam. We land on the Hades. Hades trying to get out of the way right here. But Bougie landing down the damage from the side. Ken Vanix trying to gun it down. Kurtizi getting taken down right by Rapidude and JPL trying to make a play right here. Will not be able to find it. Bougie just reaping hits for the side of Flash, harvesting them one after another.
That will be the free Lord, which will be coming up in 10 seconds in. JPL and Kurtizi would not join into the fray fast enough, but at least they will be able to join in to defend their base. But as I have mentioned before, it is all about wave clear. The defensive side of Team Flash is just not all that awesome. If I have to rate it from 1 to 5, I would name this 2.
Abstract. We just take a look at the instant replay once again. There's no answer. The Salas 3 hitting all the way up back. And by this time, as a carry, you're just shredding, right? And don't forget, Bougie's already started to do a lot of damage. Talking about Sky Piercer stacks, Bougie's definitely got a lot. And now we're going to just jump right back into another fight. Vanix still alive right there, but Bougie trying to gun him down. Kurtizi trying to peel for them, and Salas flickers forward. And Salas trying to make a crazy play right here. Still reaps down Kurtizi at the same time. Absolute Zero. Hades coming on the flank right here. Will be responded by Nan. Hades getting knocked up sky high, and Nan screaming his head. It's just Vanix trying left to defend the base. Defending against the odds. You got 5 men from the side of Absolute Zero and the Lord. And now they're trying to look for the end. Trying to deal a one game, a blow against Flash SG.
Team Flash knows that it's more or less over, with Hades trying to clear whatever wave that he could in the middle lane in the hopes that his sacrifice will be able to do much. But Absolute Zero with a very clear, concise win condition, and that is to just melt down one person at a time. They know that they go from target to target, and that's the end of the game, especially against such a poke and prod team.
Yeah, Absolute Zero, like what I mentioned, that was a very crazy roster that that Absolute Zero was able to secure itself, right? Kalia, Mathilda, Alpha, these are These are death ball composition. You add a Kimi right there. There's a lot of S++ tiers. Yes, we doubted the fact that whether they can execute this kind of composition. They kind of misplayed game number 1, but they're coming to game 2 and they're saying that, hey, we can have hands
This is a
and
lot
hair.
more.
for Head and Shoulders. Wipeout. They did a wipeout as well by Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see how I snuck in the segue?
Yes, partners in esports, we've got Head and Shoulders. So make sure you guys take a look if you want 100% Dendra free hair. So,
Yeah.
easy composition, right?
Yep.
Easy composition. That's what we are looking for from the side of Absolute Zero. They want it because they know how to play this game. They know how to play this composition. And it just so happens that this pickoff strat is also the bane of Team Flash's composition. Because if you think about it, what is the best way for Team Flash to win in a team fight? You don't expect them to all just jump into a fight. No, that's not the way. Because they don't really realistically have a lot of a very strong initiator. The only one that they have is going to be JPL. And we've seen it a couple of times.
Yep.
Go in, face break, face crack. What does it do? Absolutely nothing. That is mostly comes down to general crowd control. Is not about the damage. But if you have all of that happening right after some crazy or rather some pokes coming in from either a Hilda or a Granger, that combo or rather that JPL play would be deadly. Anyone that is at half HP and got met with a Badang right in his face with all these fists throwing at him,
Yep.
anyone would be scared.
Yeah, but then again, you're stepping into late game territory, right? Remember we talked about how early game Team Flash should have a bit of an advantage because of the joy and
Slightly.
also the grandeur as well. But then when you go to the later parts of the game, yes, you can throw the first crack. If you don't land it on Silas, Silas is just gonna shred. You see how confident he was at that last team fight, right? Flickering forward just to try to deal the damage onto Kurt TZ, and there's nothing from the side of Team Flash was able to deal. And if you notice how Team Flash is already pivoting into a slightly different strategy. They're not even going to handshake these team fights. They're actually sending Hades all the way down to the other lanes, and that's why
Cross-map plays.
cross-map plays, correct. That's why after a while, if you notice, Team Flash suffered because
They don't have Hades.
they don't have Hades, they don't have another person to do the damage. Buji by then was so massive, and Salas by then, man, he's also massive as well.
Indeed. I think that one of the main problems stemmed from the laning phase. Having a Hilda is actually the answer in order to be neck and neck with the Kalia. However, I think that Ken probably took that neck and neck a little bit too literal because he stayed in his lane to be beaten up by Kalia, only for him to go back to the brush, go back in and just kind of like, kind of fondle.
Ken is a punching bag.
Just kind of like, he's quite literally a punching bag. And once he's
I've
trying
got
to
a-
get
I've
in
got-
and out of the brushes, he's
Yeah.
fondling the creeps. He's
I've
not
got-
really clearing it out.
The way that you said Fondo, imagine I was thinking Ken is like, hey, I've got a knot in my back here, Kalia. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, right.
That is kind of the way, right?
Yeah, but you're right,
I mean,
right?
look,
EXP was
look
a
at
neutral
Hilda.
lane.
She looks so rigid. She looks like she has some problems
I
with her
think
back.
I think she can break my bones.
I don't think. I know she could. Did you see the axe on her? I think the axe is probably your weight.
That's a bit of fat shaming right there. Weight shaming right there on stream. Right.
Unless you're telling me that an axe being like 50 kg is normal.
Thank you. Wow, the joke literally went off and really up the tension. But of course, I think we're waiting for the stats to be shown by both these two teams, right? It was a wonderful fight, but I feel like the stats in terms of the items, all those, right? It doesn't really state much, right? I feel like it's just down to the draft, right? I feel like Absolute Zero literally outdrafted Flash. SG right there, right? You give the Mathilda, you give the Alpha all the way to none, and then after that you got Kalia. Like there's like four S3 S plus picks, and then you get left with scraps, right? You get the Badang, yes, you get the Grandeur, but if
At what cost?
at what cost exactly? I don't think this is a fair trade. This is a trade that you don't do in the draft.
I think that the combo of the Mathilda and the combo of the Mathilda plus that the Alpha is definitely a play that AZ managed to pull
hiding.
off well.
Yeah.
Right. Even though they put it off pretty early into the draft, I think that it was still technically uncontested per se, because I think that Team Flash, they have a very small window of opportunity to technically make things work. They can't allow the alpha to go out of control. They can't allow Nan to snowball, but in this case, surprisingly, Buji is the one that really dealt a lot, right?
Of course.
8:1:5. Normally,
Sky Piercer, bruv.
I would say normally in most of the games that we have watched, like yesterday, we
Mhm.
don't see so much from Kimi. We don't see that much amount of firepower from Kimi. But speaking of which, I mean, now that I think about it, the moment that Vendetta pulls someone in, Nan immediately just wants to go in and use up all of his abilities,
Yup.
and then what's left?
Buji's second
Buji is
skill.
just slapping people. Right? So
Shooting people.
layering of all of these spells and all of these skills eventually will bring down even the toughest behemoth
Yeah.
down to the
I'm
ground.
looking at Hilda.
Look at Hilda, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at Hilda. Like, definitely, death by Susu is not the way to go for the side of Flash. Especially on this Hilda, right? You see, even Hilda popping the Vengeance, it's gonna get melted by Buji, and also to a certain extent Nan, because Nan also deals true damage, right?
Yes.
I feel like Flash, they do have the answers for this Kimi. Technically speaking, it was supposed to be Hades, right? Wave clear by the side lanes, and then after that, try to join the fight after another. But you can see how Absolute Zero, it's just taking advantage of this momentum. It's so fast that I feel like Flash wasn't able to be quick enough. No pun intended.
There's a lot of could have, would have, should have situation for Team Flash, right? Because if we are thinking about mobility, definitely Joy has got one of the clear mobility out of all of the junglers. We know that Hayabusa has been banned. We know that Ling was Ling banned as well.
Yes, Ling was banned as
Yeah.
well.
So all of the cross-map plays heroes are
Mm.
more or less gone. I don't think Fanny was banned, but that will definitely be a little bit of a very touchy topic, because we are looking at
Yeah.
Ikalia.
Yeah, not only just that, you also got a Badang on your side. And speaking of which, MVP, we're going to reward it over the side of Rapidude on this Mathilda. 100% kill participation. My man has been just making sure everybody flies. Not only just his teammates, but also the enemies as well.
Yep, 2:1:16. The total KDA of this man over here, with a photo, a book, as well as the ice winter crown. So, going on to this game, this has been a great game thus far. We are looking at a 1:1 scoreline in this best of 5 series. I'm definitely looking forward to the next one, right?
Yeah.
Because what kind of other combos that we are looking out from AZ? Because we know that they are a very combo-based team.
Yep.
They thrive
Timing.
in these kind of situations,
Mm.
right?